Before they hired Deion, would you have guessed that we'd be talking about TCU Colorado and it's one of the first games to kick off Saturday? Like what kind of backwards world are we living in right now?
Yeah, we probably would never be talking about this game. You know what's crazy for TCU is that they scheduled these games so far out in advance, they thought they probably got themselves a Power 5 rental win.
Exactly.
And
then no one was going to watch.
And then no one was going to watch. Now everybody's going to be watching this game because of Prime to see what he does. Look, I'll start off here and say this. It is not what's the word I'm looking for? It is not a shock that I don't think TCU is going to be as good as they were a year ago, coming from me. I do not understand where this top 16, top 15 love that they are getting is coming from. I do believe that Colorado has some athletes, but I got to see them beat TCU with what they did in the transfer portal before I pick them to do anything. Now, I am rooting for this to work. I really, really, really want this to work because it will change college football forever. Joe, if they go in there, even if they lose by 7, 14, whatever, and they look competent doing it, it is going to change college football forever. And so I'm kind of rooting for the chaos. I'm rooting for Prime time. Now, Prime doesn't like losing now, but I don't think that they have enough talent to win. They're going to have to outcoach them.
First of all, anyone who, 1, ranked Colorado, 2, is outright picking them to win this game needs to get, themselves checked. Something's clearly wrong because there were quite a few national people that were picking Colorado in their top 25s. Jokes aside, you bring up a really good point. Colorado's not winning this game, but if this is a 10-point game or less, that's a victory. That is proof that 1, the transfer portal can be exploited, and 2, the Coach Prime is a damn good coach and recruiter. That he can get his team respectable enough to show up on the road. I think it's on the road. Play against TCU, a team that was just in the national championship, and keep it within 2 scores. That is a massive accomplishment. However, I don't think that's going to happen. Sonny Dykes has been around the block. He's been around for a very long time. He took a roster that did not belong winning as many games as they did last year and got them all the way to a national championship. We're not going to rehash any arguments that we had last year. But for him to do that, for them to have the roster turnover they have, all those guys leaving, I think that he's going to be fine preparing his team for this game. I really do think that they're going to cover the 20 points. What does Colorado have? Like, what do they have that I'm going to sit here and bank on? That's so much roster turnover that they had.
I agree, but they do got some weapons now. Travis Hunter, look, he could come out and do something that we're not expecting. I know that a lot of people aren't on Sanders, the quarterback. I get that. Let's see if he can make the leap from FCS to FBS. He hadn't played in the FBS game. I think things could be really fast for him. Let's see how he does. But they do got some athletes, bro. They do got some dudes that they can hand the ball off to now. Offensive line might get pushed around. They're going to run a lot of counter. They're going to pull the ball, or they're going to pull the offensive lineman a lot. They're going to try to get Sanders out in space and run the football. They're going to run RPOs. They're going to run screens to Hunter. They do got some athletes, bro. I'm not saying that they're going to win. I'm not going to say that they're going to win because I don't think that they'll win. But I am rooting. Listen,
I am too for the fun of it.
I am cheering so hard that because think about what we talk about on Sunday if they win this. That basically Deion cut everybody, replaced him with everybody, and started winning. And you know what else it would say? Maybe a Pac-12 team that we weren't expecting to go on the road and beat them. Maybe we have to have second questions about that if they could sneak up and beat somebody they're not supposed to. So it is the ultimate. Joe, you cannot break this game down and say, well, they got this guy. We know that this guy can do this and X, Y, and Z. You have absolutely no idea what Colorado is going to do.
Bingo.
So, with that being said, I am cheering for outright chaos. I am like, do you remember the movie The Dark Knight?
Yes. One of my
Do you
favorite
remember
movies.
when Joker is talking to Two-Face Harvey Dent and he goes,
Yes.
it's chaos. Okay. And they're in the hospital bed.
Yes.
I am saying that all the time. So literally, when I was sitting here all day writing down my notes, okay, as my good buddy Josh Pate would say, let me pop my notes here, okay? As I pop my notes, I wrote down 17 times, I want chaos. And that's just how it's going to be. Now, Joe, what does it say for Colorado if they do win?
I think it's more of a concern for TCU than it is a quality for Colorado. That's kind of where I'm at, is that Colorado's not going to be competitive this year. Sorry, let me rephrase. They're not going to have a winning record this year. They can be competitive. And you hit the nail on the head that no one can sit here and properly preview this game because there could be just random dudes that we've never heard of that are used in roles that we've never seen before. This is unprecedented. We've never seen somebody have this much turnover in the transfer portal or just transfers in general. It's never happened. And to try and predict what's going to happen is incredibly unpredictable. If they somehow pull out this game, it's going to be because Shedeur Sanders looks really good and that Travis Hunter makes some big plays defensively. I, though, would be more pointing the finger at TCU and saying they were frauds. That's my main takeaway. But again, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen either. It's so funny to me too. Last thing that I want to say on this, because I do want to get to the ACC thing with you.
Yeah.
The interesting thing for me is I don't think the world is ready for Prime if he wins. Like, people are not going to be ready for the outright arrogance that's going to come out of that man's mouth.
I mean,
because it will be arrogance. And you know what? Somewhat rightfully so. It will be like, hey, man, the dude did it. And so we'll see.
Well, I think that there would be to talk on that before we do transition, there would be one of the biggest heel turns ever in college sports, just sports in general, because it's going to go from everyone rooting for DeLeone, for him to succeed,
everybody hating him,
and then everyone's gonna be like, wait a minute, this guy's a dick, and he's going to rub it in our face every single time we say something negative about him, and we're never going to hear the end of it. It's kind of like with Georgia, like for me, I was rooting for Georgia and Kirby Smart, and now I'm not saying I can't stand them, but it's like, I don't know if I want them to keep winning. It's frustrating to see them succeed because they're constantly succeeding. But it's going to be that times 10 because DeLeone.
Well, yeah. Every time people have that take, it's nothing to do but jealousy.